You know, one of the dumbest talking points that I hear coming from the right is that liberals can't defend themselves, that liberals don't know how to take care of themselves, liberals aren't self-sufficient. In some sort of catastrophic event in this country where the shit hit the fan, it would be Republicans that would have to rise up and defend freedom because those little pansy-ass liberals couldn't defend themselves, and they'd be left in the dust. It's one of the dumbest narratives that they fell for, because I can tell you, as a liberal who talks to liberals on a daily basis, none of that shit is true. A good portion of my friends who are liberals all have college degrees on their wall and are well-educated people. A good chunk of them own their own firearms and knows how to use them, knows how to defend themselves. A good chunk of them has their own garden, knows how to grow food, knows how to be self-sufficient, could take care of themselves in the event that the shit hit the fan. It's just that they didn't buy into every crackpot conspiracy theory that you guys cooked up. So no, they didn't build a big bunker in their backyard. No, they haven't stockpiled a big ridiculous amount of weapons. And no, they don't think that they can rise up and take over if need be. They've not been duped into thinking that. We're not over here thinking that JFK is still alive. We're not over here thinking that JFK Jr. is working with Donald Trump behind the scenes. We're not over here thinking that Michelle Obama is a man and we're looking for pregnancy pics of Michelle when she was pregnant with the girls online. We're not falling for that kind of shit, because we realize it for what it is. We realize that they're just trying to dupe you and trying to buy you and trying to get you to spend your hard-earned money on shit that you're never even going to get a chance to use. Let's be realistic. Let's say that you did go out, you stockpiled up all this stuff, you stockpiled up all these weapons, you built this big bunker. You honestly think that you and little Cletus and Enos is going to be a challenge in the event that this big catastrophic event happens? You really think you're going to be the ones that's going to rise up and defend freedom? How'd that work out for you on January 6th? You all got sent packing with your tail between your legs. You think you would honestly do that? You think you would honestly be the ones to rise up? No, you would be wiped off the face of this earth so fast you wouldn't know what planet you were on. All they're doing is using fear to dupe you into going out and buying more weapons and stockpiling more shit. They're doing that because firearms is an industry unto itself, and they have to sell it. So how do you sell it? You get people scared. You get people living in fear. You get people thinking that something terrible is going to happen, and you dupe people into believing that they're the ones that can save the day if the shit hits the fan. And it's actually sad to sit back and watch. But we saw so many of their narratives spun over the years, so many of their talking points debunked, that if you ever sat and actually carried on a conversation with a liberal, if you ever took time out of your day, and I'm not talking about getting in the comment section with us, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about getting into a comment section war or a meme sharing war with us. I'm talking about sitting down side by side and talking and actually hearing us out. You would find that we are nothing like what you're told we are on a daily basis. All these things that they say that we're cramming in your face, we're shoving it down your throat, we're not even fucking talking about it. It's not even a conversation that we're having. It's stuff that they're going out here and they're finding and they're shoving in your face and they're getting you worked up over it. And we're over here going, what? What are they talking about? That wasn't a talking point for us. We realize, whether you do or not, while you're sitting over here talking about how you're going to defend freedom, you're going to defend democracy, you're going to be the ones to rise up and take it back, while you're buying into that narrative, we see through how you've been duped. We understand exactly where you lost the plot. Meanwhile, you're over here crying, don't tread on me. Keep your government hands out of my business. And yet you're accusing us of being the sheep, and you're saying that we're the ones that can be controlled when you're the ones living in your bubble. And you're the ones who refuses to see anything going on outside of your bubble. You've never sat and talked with a person of color to see what it is they're going through. You've never sat and talked with a gay or trans person to see what they're going through. You've never sat down and talked with an immigrant to see what it was like that they went through. You've never sat down and talked with anybody outside your bubble. You've never went past the end of your driveway. Did you not listen to Reba McEntire? There's life out there, okay? There's a whole nother frontier that you've not even begun to discover yet. And yet you sit back and say that it's us that's being controlled simply because we could look over and see another person's struggle. We could look over and see what other people is going through, and therefore we're woke and we're brainwashed and we're sheep. But you're sitting here in your lane, in your perfect little bubble, and you're buying everything they're telling you to buy. You're believing every conspiracy theory that they're cooking up. And whenever we try to point out that, hey, there's no evidence to back that shit up, then you come at us with these talking points about, well, Google owns the facts and they put this stuff in your face. You have to go over here. You have to go over here to Tom in his basement. He's got a website. He'll tell you the truth. That's what we're up against. And that's why it's such a hard thing to constantly be battling, because we're talking with people who have denounced all reason and who live in their bubble, but yet thinks that we're the ones that can't defend themselves. You guys are actually the sitting ducks. You guys are actually the ones that are already in the bubble. You're already controlled. As a matter of fact, they're not even worried about you. They don't give a shit about you. They've got you. They don't have to worry about you. The reason they're going out of their way to demonize woke, the reason they're going out of their way to push this idea about the woke mind virus, is because the more we raise awareness on all these issues and the more we point out how everyone's being screwed, the more dangerous it is to their agenda, which is, let's make ourselves richer. Let's make ourselves richer, and let's keep this guy down here at the bottom of the totem pole. Let's just keep that carrot dangled in front of his nose, and we'll dangle it there all day. He'll keep chasing it. We're over here saying, hey, that guy's got a carrot dangled out in front of your nose. That guy, that sound that's slapping your ass, yeah, that's them fucking you. That's what we're trying to say. And meanwhile, you're telling us that we're just stuck in our own little bubble. No, you're in the bubble, and you're controlled, and they're not worried a bit about you. And you're no threat to them. You're no threat. This big idea you have about like 1776 will commence and all this shit. It would be a really. Did you ever see that movie called Kick-Ass, where the kid tries to go out and be a superhero, and he goes out and gets his ass kicked? That's pretty much what happened in a nutshell.